punch him in the throat.
Not my throat! I need that for swallowing!
Okay, the worst is behind me. Just one more game that we finally get back to the good shit. Crash Bandicoot Mutant is the last game made by whack-ass Radical Entertainment. Fucking finally. Tag team racing was fucking horrible. And Titans? I really don't want to fucking talk about Titans. The shitty Radical era ended on an odd note. I don't think Bandicoot Mutant is all that great, but I don't think it's bad either. I think the best way to describe Bandicoot Mutant is that it's Crash of the Titans, but a whole lot better. It's almost the same game, but Bandicoot Mutant is godly compared to Titans. But is Mutant good as a standalone game? Let's find out. The story takes place after Titans. Cortex makes Nina go to an evil public school and he teams up with his old assistant, Embryo. Their plan is to essentially use a device that takes control of people to make them take over the world. The only ones not affected by this were Crash and Aku Aku, and it's up to them to stop Cortex and Embryo and save everyone. Meanwhile, Titans became free from Cortex's control and they're scattered all over Wumpa Islands and making it their homes. Essentially, they're taking over Wumpa Islands. Some characters have new designs, and the few new designs are much better. Crunch and Coco look cool as fuck in the game. The characters are better written and executed, and even though there are some characters that are weaker than others, they're nowhere near as annoying as they were in Titans, or even Tag Team Racing. Also, the humor in this game is a vast improvement over Titans. Mutant has way more variety in terms of humor, and they don't rely on the same joke. And the witty dialogue always gets me.
That does sound good. Butter. And where'd I get this? Short-term memory loss. Confused. And where'd I get this?
Also, every cutscene in Bandicoot Mutant has a different art style. Puppet Show, South Park, American comics, and so much more. Each cutscene is really unique and they're fucking hilarious. Unlike Titans, Mutant is more open world, almost like to Insanity in a way. While Titans is a 3D beat 'em up, Mutant is more so a blend between a beat 'em up and a platformer. Crash can do other abilities like climbing, digging, dodging, and countering. This gives the combat more variety. Fire. The controls are still not great, but it feels a little better than Titans, and levels were made for the controls. Speaking of variety, the Titans in this game can do more this time around. Some Titans have new abilities which can be used for certain parts of the game. Titans can also jump this time around. They can also be stored, meaning you can store your Titan and use them anytime. The music in this game is awesome. It sounds more lively and hectic. Bro, this menu music is cool as fuck. So Bandicoot Mutant sounds really good so far, right? Well, yeah, but there's one thing in this game. The biggest problem with this game that tears this game apart. The backtracking. Where the fuck do I even begin? I'll start off by saying this. You thought Crash 1 and 2 had bad backtracking? This game is even fucking worse. At least in those games, you only have to backtrack if you're going for 100%. In this game, backtracking is essential to the fucking story. The amount of times you have to backtrack back to the first level of the game is ridiculous. Keep in mind, this is an open world game. The first 3 worlds are Wumpa Islands, the Snow World, and Wasteland. You can be in a Wasteland and you gotta go all the way back to Wumpa Islands. You will have to backtrack all the way back to Wumpa Island 4 fucking times. And what's worse, after the 3rd or 4th time you backtrack to Wumpa Island, when you progress through the story, this fucker shows up, which is important for the story. In other words, you backtracked for fucking nothing. And trust me, you backtrack a lot more later on in the game. Radical, you guys are fucking heathens! Another cool thing in this game is that there are hero versions of Titans. The hero Titans have different appearances, and depending on which port you play, the hero Titans can be either clothed or naked. Calm the fuck down. Co-op makes a return, but with more variety this time around. There are some puzzles and minigames made for co-op mode. You get to either play as Coco, Carbon Crash, or Aku Aku. When you're Aku Aku, you shoot and kill people with chickens. I don't know what to say. Overall, Crash Bandicoot Mutant is a huge improvement over that shitty excuse of a game that was Crash of the Titans. But as a standalone game, it's alright. There's definitely a lot of good here, like the gameplay, mechanics, music, and humor. But the terrible backtracking really takes this game away from being pretty good. It's still playable and it's pretty fucking fun, but be prepared for the amount of backtracking you will experience. It's that fucking bad. Mutant is by far the best Crash game by Radical, which isn't hard considering the last 2 games are dog shit. Bandicoot Mutant is pretty decent. If you see it on eBay or a retro game shop for $5, I recommend buying it. It's not great, but after dealing with Titans, it could have been much worse. Okay, what's next?